Happy Thursday. I'm back live. I am back live on Thursday. This will be a brief show, though. It's going to be a short show. I got a couple of things I got to do, but I'm back live. I missed the energy of live, and I missed this lighting. The morning lighting is so much better. Anyway, happy Thursday. This is the 10th day of February. February is going fast, y'all. It's the 10th day of February. This is the 29th episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative and the creator of the HERO Ministry movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community and people at large. So check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:45 a.m. Central, and 7:45 a.m. Mountain. And shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this platform to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero, and more specifically, recently, my journey of becoming my own financial hero. If this show feeds you in any way, please like, please comment, please share, please do all the things that help the show grow. All right. And this is the doing season. Just a reminder, this is the doing season. I got my hoodie on, my doing hoodie, and doing in the context of this season is about doing something to change your financial future. Okay, that's all my introductory stuff. Let's get, and of course, as always, quick disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer and I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. Okay, there we go. All right, so moving into the Hero Ministry Movement news, I haven't been able to say hi to the heroes in the chat for a while because I've not been live. So shout out to the people who are watching live and commenting. Shout out to Linda from Colorado, right, Linda? Shout out to Pastor Al. Shout out to Tim. Appreciate it. Okay, so and shout out to everyone who is tuning in later. And as always, if you missed the show, you can catch the replay on YouTube and on Facebook. Okay, so we're going to get into it. I got to kind of move through quickly. So we're going to start with the run streak. Today is day 255. That's a half milestone. That's a nice round number. I was really excited about 250, but I feel good also about day 255. And every once in a while, it hits me. Every once in a while, it hits me that I've been doing this as long as I've been doing this. Anyway, today is day 255. And the run story is up already on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok. So check out the run story. Well, basically, this was my first day running with new sneakers. That's not quite right, but it's significant because it's the first pair of sneakers that I purchased for my running. I have been blessed enough that people have been giving me sneakers up until this point, and I finally bit the bullet and purchased some sneakers, and I learned so much. So any of you that are out there running on a regular basis, I urge you, it is imperative that you go to a full-fledged sneaker store and let them measure your feet and do all the things to fit you for the right kind of shoe. People have been saying this to me, but they didn't express how urgent it is. It's urgent. It's urgent. Like if you're going to be running ongoing, you got to do it because they're going to give you information that you never would have thought. I'm not even wearing my right size. Like the shoes that they fitted me for is not a size I've ever worn before because of all the different things that they told me about running. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So today was my first day running in the shoes. Check out the run report for the, right after the run feedback about how that was for me. Also, charity run news, just a reminder. And for those of you just joining me, this is my third charity run, and we are raising money for Mr. Charles, who fell and broke his foot in the snow and ice a couple weeks ago. I talked about that on this show because I was late to the show because I was helping him. And we are currently, as of today, wait, where's my drum roll? Let me get my drum roll, a little mini drum roll. Okay, as of today, we're at 60%. 60% of the way to the goal. Last 2 donations have been from complete strangers. So that means the sharing is working. The sharing is working. So share. If you can donate, if you can do both, great. But if you can share it, that would be fantastic because other people are getting engaged and involved with the story. Okay, so I think that's everything for the charity run. Someone asked me yesterday if he's still in the hospital. I will check. I think I've got this thing where I wanted the charity run to be done before I checked in, but I will just check in with him, check in with his neighbor and see how he's doing, and I'll report back. Okay, so moving on. 30-day challenge is getting kind of quiet in the 30-day challenge chat. So, so let me know what you're doing, if you're still doing. Oh, I got a great story from Nan. Those of you that are in the 30-day streak challenge, sorry, I missed the word, the 30-day streak challenge, check out Nan's story about what she did in terms of like this run. Yeah, I don't think it's a group. It might be a group, but this run challenge that she did and how she dealt with hills. Dealing with hills has been a huge part of my running journey. A huge part. And that's like, I feel like that's a whole sermon. I get into that at some other time, but dealing with hills has been, there's a lot to unpack there. Anyway, shout out to you, Nan, for doing the work, joining the group and challenging yourself. And as always, everyone out there listening, everyone under my voice, listen, your body can do whatever you push it to do. It may not be comfortable and your body has to get used to you pushing it, but it will adapt. It will adapt. Okay, moving on. Envelope challenge. Let's get the dice roll going. The number is 2. The number is 2. So move $2 from your checking over to your savings. And again, the point of this is to exercise the muscle of knowing that there's always more, and also start paying yourself in little small increments so that as you spend money throughout the day for various things, you're also quote unquote spending money for you by moving some money aside, setting it aside for investing. Okay, so moving on to mornings in. Those of you who have been following the show know that I was participating in the 30-day mental diet and also reading the 4 agreements at the same time. So I've got another quote from the 4 agreements, and I haven't made it past the first 2 agreements. It's a short book. But let me rephrase that. I guess I've made it through the book as a whole, but I keep circling back to the first 2 agreements. And just a reminder of what those are. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. But that really means be impeccable with your word to yourself. Keep your promises to yourself. Say loving things to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Be kind to yourself with your words. I mean, it's not rocket science. We've heard that before, but it's impactful. And I love the way they talk about sin as going against yourself, being unkind to yourself. I say they, but I mean the author of the book. So that's the first agreement. Second agreement is take nothing personally. Take nothing personally. I kind of feel like that should be the first agreement. Like that's, yeah, because we slip into that trap so easily, all of us, and it takes willpower to avoid it. Anyway, I'm reading another highlighted section from that agreement, from the take nothing personally agreement today. And here we go. This is today's reading. As you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you won't need to place your trust in what others say or do. I'm going to read that part again. As you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you won't need to place your trust in what others say or do. You will only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices. You are never responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for you. When you truly understand this and refuse to take things personally, you can hardly be hurt by the careless comments or actions of others. Strong stuff. And it requires a lot of willpower. It requires a lot of willpower to not worry about what others say or do. But all you can worry about is you. You're only responsible for you and your choices and your reactions to things. Don't take anything personally. They gave some examples of not taking things personally. I keep saying they. He gave some examples of not taking things personally in the book that would shock you. And so that's just a reminder that it doesn't matter what happened, you can still make the choice to not take it personally. It may require a lot of willpower, but you can still choose to not take things personally. All right. So moving on, the 4 agreements, check it out. It's worth it. Okay, so let's talk about abundance. Let's get into it. Abundance, abundance, abundance. Here is our affirmation that you should be reading at home. Don't let me just be reading this by myself on the show. This is for all of us. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. In every area of my life. Okay, so I'm just going to read it once and we're going to get into this. I have remixed the second part again. We'll try this out. Here we go. If you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. But if you want to be wealthy, you must invest. Yeah, I think I like that phrasing the best, but you let me know. Drop something in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. But if you want to get wealthy, you must invest. It's not optional. Okay, so today is Thursday. We're doing Throwback Thursday, as is the rest of the world on social media. And for me, I am choosing to throw back to Shaq. We've been talking about Shaq again on the show this week. And I said yesterday, I said yesterday that his investments are making more now than he was making at the peak of his NBA career. So what I decided to do was make that real today. So this is a throwback to when Shaq was playing in the NBA. When Shaq was playing in the NBA, his highest salary was $27 million per year, which is mind-boggling. Can you imagine how much the team was making that they could pay him $27 million a year? But let me not go off on a tangent. $27 million a year. So as I mentioned earlier in the week, he was advised at some point to save and invest 75% of that and to spend 25%. So he says he did it. So if he stuck to it, that's about $7 million that he was living off of, $7 million per year, which is a lot of money. But it also means that he was investing $20 million. And it's got to be challenging to live off of 7 and invest 20. Like all that money, shifting it someplace else it's still very much about mindset. The ability to live off of 25% and invest 75% is still a huge mindset shift for any of us. But the point is, he invested heavily, and according to him, he invested 75%. So that's $20 million a year for however long he had that salary. And now present day, he makes more than $27 million a year just from his investments. And this was a shocker to me, his biggest investment has been in stocks, which are available to all of us. So I'm saying all that to say that the stock market is your friend. The stock market is your friend. You need to treat the stock market with respect. But if you can get yourself to invest heavily now, you can set yourself up to live independently later. And that's a lesson that many of us, myself included, wish we had gotten sooner or more clearly, but better late than never. And we can still make a difference in our financial futures. So all that said, invest heavily in the stock market. That's kind of the point. And in terms of that, don't be foolish, right? We've talked a little bit about that. What I have learned myself is that I am shying away from individual stocks. I'm shying away from trying to pick a winner. That's really gambling. It's really gambling. It's like, okay, I think this dice company is going to do well. I'm going to buy into this dice company at $1 a share, and I'm hoping it's going to go to $1 million a share or something like that. I am shifting my energy away from thinking that these individual companies are going to do well and buying into index funds and ETFs and also the biggest companies we know. Not trying to pick a winner, trying to ride coattails. And that is also a mental shift. It's hard not to try to pick a winner, but I think it's overall a safer way to go. So that said, that leads me into something else I want to talk about. I mentioned McDonald's earlier this week in this context, in the context of getting exposure to cryptocurrency and Web 3.0 and all the things that are coming in the cryptoverse. I mentioned investing in McDonald's, and I said that I hadn't corroborated it yet, but I heard that McDonald's was accepting Ethereum for their meals. So you could buy a Big Mac with Ethereum. So it turns out that is not exactly accurate. What has happened is McDonald's, get this, wait for it, McDonald's has developed their own cryptocurrency. Their own cryptocurrency. It's happening. The mainstreaming is happening, right? But there's a couple points there. The mainstreaming is happening and it will continue to happen. That's point number one. Point number two is these big companies are figuring out a way to get exposure to this new era that's coming. So again, the safe play is to invest in the big companies that are already figuring it out. Like if you want to get exposure to cryptocurrency, but you don't feel like trying to figure out how and which cryptocurrency to buy and hot wallets and cold wallets and everything that's associated with buying cryptocurrency, you can still just invest in McDonald's and big companies like McDonald's. And McDonald's is in the S&P 500. So that brings us all the way full circle back to invest in index funds. Invest in index funds. McDonald's is one of the 500 companies in the S&P 500. They're a huge company. They have developed their own cryptocurrency. And I got to believe that the McDonald's cryptocurrency is going to do well. So anyway, the way their cryptocurrency works is you have to buy Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. You have to buy Ethereum and then use Ethereum to buy McDonald's coin. And that's what it's called, McDonald's coin. That's the only way for you to acquire it. And then you can use McDonald's coin to buy stuff at McDonald's. Anyway, my point remains that the big companies are already figuring it out, so we don't have to. We can just invest in these really big companies individually or get exposure to them by investing in something really safe like the S&P 500 or other index funds. Okay. All right. I think that's all I want to say about that. I think so. So one more thing for Throwback Thursday, this shifting gears now, back to trading stocks. So in terms of Throwback Thursday and trading stocks, I thought immediately of candlesticks. I've talked about this method before. Candlesticks is a form of reading stock market charts. It was developed in the 1700s by a guy, just a single guy developed this system, and he was killing it in the rice market in Japan, in feudal Japan. And people asked him how he was doing it, and he told them, well, I developed a system. And that system became known as candlesticks. It was first employed in the Japanese stock market in 1870, and it is still being used today in 2022, which is incredible to me. Anyway, in terms of my study of candlesticks, I've learned something, that there are two schools of thought in terms of studying the stock market. There are fundamentalists and there are, and technicals. That's not the right word, but there's a technical school of thought and a fundamental school of thought. That's a better way of saying it. So a fundamental school of thought, we're already familiar with Warren Buffett. He's a fundamentalist. He studies companies to figure out which company is going to do well, which companies are undervalued. He buys into companies that he knows 100% sure are undervalued and rides them to success. Well, this other school of thought is about technical analysis. And technical analysis is about simply watching the charts and using candlesticks, or candlesticks is one of the ways that you can watch the charts to see what the mood of the market is. Again, this is a mind-boggling concept to me. The mood of the market, as if the stock market is a living, breathing thing. So different designations within candlesticks will tell you that the market is tired, that the market is energetic, that the market is retracting, that the market is moving forward. so there's all these terms that imply that it's a living, breathing, moving thing. And so people who study technical analysis don't care about individual stocks. They care about the overarching mood of the market, and they buy typically stock ticker symbols without even knowing what they are. Like, it's not like they buy the McDonald's ticker because they believe in McDonald's. No, they're looking at the chart for McDonald's and they see that it's moving in the way that they want it to move, and they buy based on that. So it's an entirely different way of interacting with the stock market. And so I found that fascinating. I hope you find it fascinating too. So yes, you can go the route of someone like Warren Buffett and pour over information and study, but you can also just study how the market moves and learn to read the mood of the market and trade based on the mood of the market, the mood of a particular company, and make your money that way. And that takes me all the way back to Nicholas Darvis. I've mentioned him before. He was a ballroom dancer who was able to make $2 million in less than a year in the stock market. And I now realize that he was a technical analyst. He looked at the charts and the movements, and he didn't really care about what the company was that he was buying into. He cared about how that company's stock moved. And that's ultimately how he was able to make $2 million in less than a year. Okay, I think that's it. I said it was going to be a short show, but it hasn't been that short. So I'm going to wrap up now. I see I got some comments, and yeah, why not? Let's do a couple comments. So I appreciate the prayer hands, Robin. Yep, 60%, Nan. Yeah, 60% of the way to our goal. We're almost done. Good morning, love, joy. Thanks, Margaretta. I like the new statement too, because it sticks with you a little more. It does. If you want to stay poor, just spend. If you want to stay middle class, just save. But if you want to be wealthy, you got to invest. Okay, so let me stick to my word and close the show. I think it's just because I'm live again. I just want to hang out till the end. But I've covered all the things that I wanted to cover. Check out Shaq's stock investments. Just Google that because it'll take you down a rabbit hole that's very interesting. Also, check out McDonald's in their McDonald's coin. And again, you can get exposure to cryptocurrency simply by buying into the S&P 500. Okay, so let me wrap this up. I won't be producing Sip with Rev Melissa today. I've got some other things I got to do. So you'll see me again tomorrow, Friday, for Free Flow Friday. Till then, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own financial hero. Starting today. Oh, one more thing. Last thing. I mentioned that Robinhood is now giving away free stock. So I posted that link on my Facebook page. So this is my first time using it, but I assume, like I said before, they're just trying to keep up with Webull. So click the link. You should get some free stock. And I figure as long as these companies are giving away free stock, we should take advantage of it. Get as much free stock as you can. And then you can figure out what to do with it later, but get it while they're offering it. All right, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own financial hero. Remember that now is better than perfect for investing. And I'll see you mañana. Later.